Erik Oosthuizen joined the Gideons in 2016. He is married to Ansie and they are blessed with 2 children. They are affiliated with the Henops camp. He has a passion for missionary work and evangelism and is therefore also actively involved in other organizations such as Free to Serve, operating in India, Thailand, Burma, Laos and China. Erik and Ansie enjoy nature and travelling. Please welcome our speaker and convention host, Regional President Erik Oosthuizen.
Good day, everyone. El Salvador was a privilege to visit, and it all started last year at the convention. Pierre came and said, if anyone wants to participate in International Blitz, we must be the next day at a certain time at the place where we have then the opportunity to say if we are going on an International Blitz or not. That night I told my wife, I feel it in my heart, I want to go, God needs me there. And I went and I gave my name up and they contacted me and said, in March we go to El Salvador. I really looked forward to it for 2 days. Thereafter the questioning started. Do I really want to go? Must I go? It costs a lot of money. Is it worthwhile to go? Isn't it better to send them 70,000 rand instead of flying over? You're away from the business, you're away from your family. And early in the year already, January, it's a part of Matthew, it says, the harvest is big. And I decided, let's go. But still, always you sit. Must I really go? So when we were on our way to the airport, we came there an hour earlier than the 2 hours that we needed. Because my wife said, just book in, I wait in the restaurant, then we sit and visit you, and then I will walk through, then we still have time there. When I came at the top, my son was with me, and I gave him, they said, sir, where's your transit visa? I said, what? A transit visa? For what do I need a transit visa? Are you flying over America? I said, but when I fly Dubai, India, and if I fly Frankfurt, Thailand, I don't need a transit visa. Why do I need a transit visa to go through America? I just land, get on the other aeroplane and fly. No, sir. If you don't have a transit visa, you will not get on the plane today. My son asked, Dad, what are we doing here? What doing we now? I said, start praying. And the next moment he said, Dad, we were 10 years ago in America sometime. It's not sure how long. Isn't that visa still valid? You were singing there, you was performing there. I said, I have no idea. I called Ansie, said, cancel that reservation at the restaurant, get Erik outside, go as quick as possible home, find the old passport, look if it is still valid, the visa, and take a photo that I see if I can in time book in. They chased home. They let me know they will be 7:05 back at the airport. I said, it's not possible. 7 o'clock, they lock electronically. I need you to be faster. Erik asked me, how do you do it? I said, as taxis doing it. You drive on the pavement on the left, you pass the robot, and you make sure you are in time here. 2 minutes before 7, my wife ran in with a passport. We opened it. You need 6 months on a passport, not a transit. Transit you don't stay, but in the passport I can stay there. You need 6 months. It expires in October. April to October, 6 months. God wanted me 10 years ago to be in El Salvador. God wanted me there, and I didn't know why. Adrenaline was pumping. We got on the airplane, and here's a young man sitting behind me, Afrikaans guy, young guy on his way to go to start farming in America. And he said, sir, can I put myself here? I said, yeah, put it here, calm. He said, sir, this aeroplane thing doesn't work for me. I said, calm down, just calm down. I guarantee you we will land other side. Sir, you can't say something like that. I said, no, the Lord wants me in El Salvador. Don't you worry, we will land in El Salvador. You can get off in New York. He said, sir, it doesn't work like that. I said, sir, just get calm. So I was in the cheap seats at the back of the plane. Next to me was one lady. Here it was nobody sitting here because it was too small. It's where the aeroplane gets together. And I asked the English lady to please give me the opportunity to talk to this guy. Don't you want to sit at the back, that he just come and sit here? So that was after we eaten. The lights were already dimming. People were looking videos. And I started with this guy and told him why nothing will happen. And if something happened, we are in heaven. I had the opportunity to share the gospel. And that night, two gentlemen were crying in the back of the aeroplane when he gave his heart to Christ. Then I was worried if the airplane falls. At least I know two people are in heaven. Through to El Salvador, came late that night, 36 hours later since I started with the flight. And when the first day we got to the university, they dropped us at the gate, and the boxes were standing there. We needed to start giving Bibles out, but hardly no person came out or in that gate. How is it possible? Isn't it easier to buy a few students with 70,000 rand to give out Bibles than to waste my time and standing there? And while we are actually busy there, and no people are arriving there, Randy Crow, the Americans will know him, started with an interpreter that was given to us, and he shared the gospel. And she came to faith, where nobody's there. And then other vehicle came and said, we must go to the other gate, because the whole faculty on this side, the financial faculty, is closed today for some reason, and that's where there are no people. God closes faculties to save one life. One life. It is how God works. We had the opportunity when we went to start giving the Bibles out at the schools. There was a new law. You cannot give any child in uniform anything due to the drug problems they had there. And they also refused us any entrance into schools. So we had to stand on the pavement and give out the Bibles there. So immediately you are in a threat that something can happen. We were actually busy doing it. Then the Gideon of El Salvador told me through the translators, we have big troubles. I said, why? He said, look behind my shoulder, there are 8 police people standing. We sleep tonight in jail. If we don't bribe them, we will sleep tonight in jail between those drug cartels. I thought, first time I can join that club. And he said, we have to bribe them. I said, you can't bribe them. He said, I have to bribe them. And luckily, there are so many Gideons around the world that all contributed so that we can bribe them. How did we done it? He took a few Bibles, walked to the police, gave them each a Bible, said, open it at the back, and he started to give them the way to the salvation, way to salvation. And he said, that is what we are giving the children. And they all got on their cars and they left us. We bribed them with Bibles, Gideon Bibles. That only happened 4 times. The privilege we had there. The last thing I want to conclude, and then what I learned about it. When we walked on the streets there, they told us 2 years ago, when we walked this time of the day here, the drug cartels would shoot us. To create fear, any person in daylight walking in those streets, they shoot. That gives you the idea how hungry the people were after a war that had, then the drug cartels had run that country. And 2 years later, in the protection of God, we could give Bibles out there. We so many times doubt if it's God's will. If God put something on your heart, do it in full. God will stop you. You won't have a transit visa, I promise you. It might be wealth, that you don't have the money to do it. It might be health, that you have not the health to do it. But God will use you if you are willing to go. Don't doubt it. God is there to use you in His kingdom. He will supply the visa I needed. but he closes faculties to save one person. Thank you.